Hey y'all, it's your girl Chastity J, and I'm back with a part 2 from that word I posted yesterday. So, God, after God just keep on ministering to me, and He's like, tell my people, just because something is delayed does not mean it's denied. It means it's in the processing stage. It's in a processing stage. And what that means is that God is working out those kinks. He's working out those small details that's going to work out in your favor at the end of the day. So just be mindful of that. Just because something is processing or something has been delayed, that's because God has stepped in. He stepped in to make the situation much better than it was going to be. He stepped in to make sure that you were going to get all the benefits, get everything that He promised you and more. So just be mindful that because there's a delay does not mean that there's a denial. That just means that God has stepped in and put His hands in it. Call Him the step in man, because He done stepped into that situation and He's like, nah, my daughter, my son deserves more than this. Nah, I'm going to make sure that my son or my daughter is taken good care of. I'm going to step in and make sure that not only are they're getting something for this moment, something that's going to help them and be beneficial, but it's not going to be a temporary blessing. It's going to be a permanent blessing. It's going to be a blessing that's going to elevate them beyond what they thought. It's going to be something that's going to benefit not just them, but it's probably going to benefit their spouse, their family, their children. So just be mindful of that. He just reminded me, he was like, I'm setting you up for more than what you have been praying for. That's why it's a processing stage. That's why it's a little delay in your blessing. It's not denied whatsoever, but there's a little delay in your blessing. So just be mindful of that, y'all. God had to remind me. He was like, hey, I know you a little weary, and I had to repent, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, Jesus, please forgive me. I am human. I had to repent, but God was like, just because you're a little weary, just be mindful. It's not, that delay does not mean denial. That delay does not mean that I'm not going to bless you with your heart's desires. I'm not going to bless you with the things that I promise you. It's in a processing stage. It is in the processing stage. That means that it's going to be, that He's going to put His hand in there. He's going to make sure that it's going to have more than what you wanted. He's going to do, He had to do some kinks and stuff to the situation to make sure that you come out better than what you were hoping for, and make sure that you're gaining more that's going to benefit you long term and not just in the moment or temporarily. So just be mindful of that, y'all. I was like, okay, Jesus, I trust you. I trust you. So just be mindful, y'all. When you think about, I use an example of like a Fashion Nova order. You go through, you shop. So it's the same thing when it comes to God. You go through and look at your life, or self-reflect your finances, your business, just your life in general. So you're shopping for these blessings. You're like, okay, I need some blessings here, Lord. I need to upgrade this, all this other stuff. I need to upgrade my wardrobe. You look at those things, you add them all to the cart. So you write them down. You're praying about them. You're writing down all these blessings. And then once you pay and check out, that's when you submit those blessings to God. You submit them, you hand them over to God. Once you pay and check out, then they go into what? The processing stage. They go into the processing phase. And when they are in that processing phase, that's when Fashion Nova is preparing your order. So when your blessings are in their processing phase, that's when God is putting His foot up in there, y'all. Y'all know how we used to say Big Mama or your grandmama put her foot up in there? That's when God is putting His foot up in there. Call Him the step in man, because He puts His hands in there. He's like, okay, well, I see she asked for this, but that's not going to be, I know what's better for her. I'm going to give her more than what she's asking for. Whatever she asks for is only going to benefit her temporarily. It's going to benefit her for 6 months or a year. But what I'm going to give her is going to benefit her for a lifetime. So that's when God is in there and he's making those little kinks and turns and making sure that what you're asking for and what he's planning to bless you with is going to be best for you long term. It's not just going to be something temporarily. Once it goes through that processing stage and then you get that alert that it has been shipped. So it's on its way, right? Same thing. Once you deliver and surrender those prayers and things you're asking for to God, your blessings are then still in the processing, but they're in a ship stage. So they're being shipped to your address. Once they get delivered, that's when God give you those promises. You be surprised. You like, oh, big Jesus, here we go. You done dropped it off at my doorstep. You done delivered those promises. So just be mindful of that. It's the exact same thing when it comes to God and his promises for your life. Keep that in mind, y'all. If you ever get weary or double-minded, think about whoever likes to shop, whether Fashion Nova, Amazon, whatever the case may be. Think about the different phases and stages that it goes through. And I know when I'm waiting on that order, when it says, when I get that alert that it's being shipped, then I am anticipating and know that, okay, Fashion Nova, they'll tell you, if you got that free 1-day shipping, a free 2-day shipping, you're like, okay, I'm expecting my blessings. My blessings are going to be here in 2 days or in 1 day. Same thing when it comes to God. You need to have that same mindset. You don't be double-minded when you waiting on Fashion Nova. Granted, sometimes Fashion Nova have a little delay because my order right now got a little delay. But, it's okay because something with the carrier. And sometimes God have to delay some of our promises and our blessings because something maybe come up that we were not expecting, but God saw it coming. Or the enemy tried to step in and change your mind, make you get a little weary and stuff. So, that's where that little delay come from. But like I was saying, when it comes, once that order, y'all get that notification or get the tracking number and the expected date of arrival. You don't be second guessing no more. You don't be weary or double minded like, oh, my order not gonna come. Is it gonna come? It say it's gonna, you have that confirmation that your order is gonna come in 2 days or 1 day, however many days, once you get that tracking update. So when it comes to God, once you done surrender them prayers to God, you better think of it just like when you get that tracking number. You don't be double-minded. You don't get weary or anything. Just think of it like that. You surrendered it to God. Just know that God is going to deliver. He's going to deliver, but it's going to be on his timing. It's not going to be when you expect it or when you want it to be there. God may deliver it in a few minutes or instantly. It may take a little time. It may have delay because God is over there working on some other things that you never thought about. So just be mindful, y'all. God gave me that little, that little situation and analogy to keep me hopeful and to make sure that I'm still being faithful, that I'm still trusting him, that I am not, going to continue growing weary about situations and things that I've been praying about. I'm like, God, you clever, you smart, because he know I was just fussing about Fashion Nova earlier about a little delay in the order that I got. And he like, just how, when you get them notifications, you be like, oh, my order gonna come, and you forget all about it because it's gonna be here in 2 days or 1 day. He's like, you need to forget about it. Don't be worried about it, stressed out about it, and then be doubting him because it didn't come when you thought it should come or when it should happen. So just be mindful, y'all. God is just such a clever man. Thank you, big Jesus. But keep that in mind, y'all. And thank you to all of my supporters. I love you guys. Let's just continue trusting God, continue praying, continue healing, continue elevating, y'all. And let's go snatch these blessings, okay?